It is 9 p.m. in an IT office in Gurgaon. A 26-year-old sits before an Excel sheet, pinned to his desk by an urgent task that arrived at 6. He's been here since 9 a.m., and his eyes aren't on the data. They're on a travel video on his phone, wondering if the rest of his life will look like this. This routine is shared by millions. It's the morning metro commute spent playing mobile games to tune out the world, the afternoon traffic jams, and the weekend spent recovering just to do it all again on Monday. It is a cycle that often leads to a persistent, quiet numbness. For many, the trap is set early. Parental pressure and billboards for coaching centers narrow life down to a few high-pressure paths, like engineering or medicine. By age 22, many graduates are already carrying education loans that require an immediate, stable paycheck to service. This isn't a personal failure. It's a systemic outcome. Societal expectations create a fear of falling behind, which leads to car loans, home loans, and a reliance on a steady salary. This financial structure creates a golden cage, where leaving a toxic job feels like a mathematical impossibility. Standard motivational advice tells you to follow your heart or look inside. But without exposure to the thousands of possibilities, looking inward often reveals very little. You cannot find an answer if you haven't been given the data. The reality is that passion is not a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. It is more like a plant. It must be cultivated, watered, and grown through active effort. We are going to use a 3-step scientific framework called the 3E formula to build that passion from scratch. To start, you will need the 100 Careers PDF guide, which is available as a free download in the description. Step 1 is explore. Most people only know about 10 to 15 traditional career paths, but there are over 12,000 recognized categories globally. If you don't know what you're interested in, you don't have a lack of passion, you have an exposure problem. In his book Range, David Epstein explains that world-class performers often have a sampling period. Roger Federer, for example, played football, basketball, and handball for years before he ever decided to specialize in tennis. MS Dhoni followed a similar path, spending his childhood playing football and badminton before finding his way into cricket. These performers didn't start with specialization, they started with variety. Use the 30-30 rule. Take the PDF, circle 30 careers that sound interesting, and for the next 30 days, spend 30 minutes a day researching one of them. This allows you to expand your horizon without the pressure of a career change. This sampling period is a mandatory prerequisite to finding a genuine interest. Step 2 is engage. After a month of research, narrow your list of 30 down to the 5 or 7 fields that actually excited you. Now you move from passive research to active testing. Josh Kaufman's research shows it takes about 20 hours to reach a respectable skill level in a new field. By committing 45 minutes a day, you can reach this threshold in exactly 1 month. This must involve a real-world project. If you are interested in art, paint sneakers and try to sell them. If you're interested in woodworking, carve a block of wood. If you like baking, make a cake for a neighbor's party. The goal is to find your flow state, a psychological state where you become so absorbed in a task that you lose track of time. Your skills and the challenge of the task are perfectly balanced. You cannot think your way into a flow state. Finding what resonates requires you to stop analyzing and start performing the work. Step 3 is excel. Identify the one skill from the previous phase that triggered your flow state and commit to 6 months of deliberate practice to master it. This is where you develop grit. Researcher Angela Duckworth defines grit as the intersection of passion and long-term perseverance, the ability to stay focused on one goal for a long period. At West Point Military Academy, a high grit score was a better predictor of a cadet's success than their IQ, talent, or physical fitness. Success wasn't about who was the smartest, it was about who didn't quit. Be prepared for a drop in motivation around month 3. When the initial novelty wears off, the work becomes a grind. This is where most people fail, but pushing through this friction is what leads to mastery. Passion is often misunderstood as a constant state of excitement. In reality, it is the resilience you maintain while navigating the difficult stages of skill building. As you get better at your skill, use modern platforms to begin monetizing it as a side hustle. Whether it's a cloud kitchen in Jaipur or a woodworking shop on Instagram, the internet allows you to test the market with very little risk. Do not quit your day job yet. Wait until your side income reliably covers 30 to 50% of your current salary. This provides the financial safety net needed to make a transition without triggering a crisis. This creates what the Japanese call ikigai, the intersection of what you love, what you are good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. When your cultivated skill finally meets a market demand, you have built a functional alternative to the debt cycle. You might think it's too late to start, but the global average age for a career change is 39. It is better to begin at 34 than to wait until 44. If you think you don't have the money, remember that most options in the 100 careers list require zero initial investment. Exploring a new path costs nothing but your time. Download the PDF tonight, circle your 30 options, and set a timer for your first session tomorrow. For those who want more structured help, my ebook and audiobook, To Hell with That Job, provides a detailed roadmap for this transition. The first chapter is available for free at the link below. Spending those first 45 minutes marks the transition from planning to execution. While the full process takes months of grit, this is the specific point where your exit strategy becomes real.